Thank you. No worries. Yeah, I don't know how I will ever learn to actually start recording on time.
Sriji, one question, Sriji.
Sure.
For the karmas, is it only the bad karmas that's coming to us because of our bad deeds? Both good and bad are coming because of our actions, right?
Correct, absolutely. But we will only curse Bhagavan when it is the bad activities, right?
Yeah.
So, there is even a movie joke recently. We were watching a movie and we were joking. So he says, if I win, it is my activity. If I lose, then it is your problem. So
Yeah.
that's how we live. That if I got a promotion, then it'll say I worked so hard and I got a promotion. But if I'm going through difficulty, I will say, oh, why is Bhagavan doing this for me? I don't deserve this.
Right, right. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay? He is also the destroyer of our avidya, ignorance. And again, that also is based on Purva Janma Sukritam. And if all of you are spending your Saturday morning listening to this, then you know Bhagavan's grace is on you and your karma phalas are trying to take you in the right direction of self realization. So you should all feel extremely blessed. So the next nama is Ahas Samvartakaha. So we are now looking at the second line of the 25th shloka. He is the initiator of time, day, seasons, and so on. The sun is one that makes the day, and based on the apparent rising and setting of the sun, the day is calculated. Bhagavan is the one who, in the form of the physical sun and in the form of the Surya Devata, makes the day possible day after day. Thus, he is Ahas Samvartakaha, the initiator of the day. You will see the reference of time and space. While we always say Bhagavan is Kala Tita, Desha Kala Parichinna, he is not measured by any of these, he's beyond all of these. He is the one that initiated. So think about the Big Bang that we have spoken a few times about. So as soon as the Big Bang started, until then, there is no space, no time. At that time, that moment is when time started. So he is the initiator of time himself. Even Mahanarayana Upanishad has like some beautiful descriptions of he is the microseconds, and in I don't know if the time is measured in Vedic age from a very micro, like we call this microseconds, but it goes much further than that, and to eons. Like we know how all of the measurements of the various yugas work. So that measurement of time from the very basic portion or basic time to the highest amount of time that exists, without him there is no time, but without time he can exist. So he is the one who initiated time and who is the one who initiates a day each day. The next nama is
No, I guess most of the bhajans we have this Kalatitaya, that
yeah,
word in Shiva bhajans. Yeah, for
correct,
sure.
correct, absolutely. Yeah, he is beyond time, beyond space. And therefore, even if time stops when in the unmanifested mode, he still exists. Even though there is no time, there is no space, and then the manifestation happens. So the next nama is Vanhihi. So here there is a spelling correction. So though we write it as Vahni, or even in Sanskritam we write ha and na, it is supposed to be pronounced as Vanhi, not Vahni. Just like Brahma, right? Like we write Brahma. No, yeah, but we have to pronounce it as Bramha. So note the difference. So ava ahasamvartako vanhiranilo dharani dharaha. So that's how the pronunciation would be. So we know that he means actually fire. The one who carries as the fire is the description given here. The Lord of Vanhi, both the physical fire and also the Agni Devata. Agni is called as Vanhi, we know that, because it carries the oblations offered by us to the various Devatas. Jivanam Vahati. The Lord is the one who carries on the life of all beings in the form of energy and temperature, hence also Vanhi. So there are two different meanings. One is the Vaishvanara Agni in our stomach. So without the Vaishvanara Agni, the digestive fire, there is no digestion. So we have seen some of those shlokas, like there is a beautiful Gita shloka that talks about that. And
The one, excuse me, the one in the stomach is Jadaragni, right?
Vaishvanara. Jataragni is like the digestive fire. Jatara means stomach.
Okay. And
Vaishvanara is the devata of Jataragni.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. And we also know that the Agni in the Homam, that is also Bhagavan, and the fire is through which we send oblations. So when we do like any Homams, we offer so many offerings, and sometimes we offer gold and like, all the, even diamonds are offered. Sometimes it's, clothing. Some like for Chandi Homam, we use various fruits and saris, and for Rudra Homam, we do like, of like various different kinds of offerings. Why are we doing that? Couple things. One is that I am detached. I am not bound, or I am not attached to these riches in life. And the other, I am actually offering this. So these offerings are going to the deity that I am praying to. So that one, he is the carrier. Agni Devata is the carrier of all the oblations that we provide in the Agni. And that's the home Agni. And also, just by touching yourself, you know that Bhagavan is in the form of that energy, right? Just by feeling the temperature around us. So he is the energy, the temperature that runs or that leads us, that our life exists because of him. The next nama is Anilaha, the one who is constantly moving as air. So now we are seeing the Panchabhutas, right? Like first they said time and space, and now we are moving into, so he is the fire, and he is also the Anilaha, the air. So, and we know that he works within our body as the Pancha Mahavayus and the Pancha Upavayus. Can anyone name those Pancha Vayus and the Pancha Upavayus? And we use that for Naivedya mantras as well.
The prana, apana, samana, vyana, and udana.
Perfect. Awesome. And we do that for Naivedyam as well. And there are various mudras for each of those Vayus. And there are meditations done for activating the Vayus. And each of those Vayus do various different functions, right? And how they're spread in the body. So this is the Prana Mudra, the Vyana Mudra, the Pranaya Swaha, Apanaya Swaha, Vyanaya Swaha, Udanaya Swaha, Samanaya Swaha. And then we also say Brahmane Swaha. So we are actually offering to Brahman. So that's the Naivedya Mudras. And there are 5 Upavayus: Kurma, Devadatta, Dhananjaya, Naga, Krikkara. So 10 Vayus in all that are functioning in our body. And each of these Vayus, especially if we talk about Dhananjaya, Dhananjaya is the Vayu that is supporting the prana vimukti from the body when a person dies. And Devadatta, for so many, like, yoga sadhana, Devadatta is extremely important. So there are all of these Vayus within us. But there is the air that is surrounding us, and we know how without that, the universe or the existence doesn't happen. Okay. So there is another meaning that's given here. Bhagavan is not only beginningless, but does not perish, and hence he is Anila. So na niliyate vinashyati. So one who not only doesn't only have beginning, but also doesn't get destroyed or doesn't perish. Therefore, he is Anila. Okay, we'll go to the next nama, Dharani Dharaha, which is the last nama for this sloka, the one who supports the earth. And we know that in Kurma Avtara, he was the one who supported the earth and has adopted the earth. And we also say he is the Dharani Pati because Mother Earth is his consort. So Vyasa says here that the Lord is the sun, he is the fire, he is the air, and so on. And as the Adhisthana of the earth, he is the Dharanidhara. Not only is he the support of the earth, he is one who supports everything as the Dharani, the earth. So Dharani, Dhara means to hold, to support, to establish. So he is also the one that is supporting everything and as the Dharani, the earth. He is the one who sustains life in the form of earth, the sun, the air, the fire, and so on. We generally think that Bhagavan is one among many things. Fire is fire, sun is sun, and God is God. Thus, everything is separate. That's how we think about it. This is our thinking, but in truth, it is not so because there is nothing separate from Bhagavan. We think that God is another person, like our uncle, sitting in a particular location separate from everything. This idea is knocked off by Vishnu Sahasranama. So this is a short description. So seeing him in everything, because without him, nothing can exist. That is the essential nature of what we are trying to learn, which is beyond, like, initially when in our childhood, we would think, oh, Bhagavan is in the temple, and we actually befriend him, right? So somebody could befriend Hanuman, and somebody can say Ganesha, or somebody can say Vishnu, Narayana. We say, oh yeah, he's my friend, I will have a chat with him. But as we are evolving, our spirituality is evolving, we would understand that he is everything and everywhere. He is this pen, he is the non-living things, he is the living things, and he is me. He is within me, and he is the one that is observing through this body called me. So that's the important evolution. With that, we'll go to Shloka 26. So we'll first do the breakdown. Suprasadaha Prasannatma. So two namas there. Vishwadrug, Vishwabhug, Vibhuhu. So 5 namas in that line. Then Satkarta, Satkritah, Sadhuhu. I believe there are 2 different namas. Let me confirm. Yeah. Satkritah, Sadhuhu, Janhuhu, Narayanaha, Naraha. So how many are those? Satkarta, Satkritaha, Sadhuhu, Janhuhu, Narayana, Naraha. So 6 in the second line and 5 in the first line. So a few nuances to chant this one. You would see the first Suprasadaha, that Visarga is being followed by Prasannatma, the Pa. So this is one of those rare opportunities you can utter the F kind of a sound, F kind of a sound, which doesn't exist, as I mentioned before, in our Aksharamala. We have Pa, Pa, not Fa. Fa is a very Persian, Persians brought us that. But in our Vedic scriptures, there is a very rare occurrence where a Visarga is followed by a Pa or a Pa in both Mahaprana and Alpaprana. You would use that F kind of a sound. And those are important for certain reasons to activate certain things. It should not be used on a regular basis. It's like medicine, right? You only take as much as your dosage should be. So when you see those opportunities, Visarga followed by Pa, note that and use the right way to say the F. So Suprasada Prasannatma, that's how it will come. And then Vishwadrig, Vishwabhug, Vibhuhu. Note the last Bhu, Bhug, Vibhuhu. Both of those Bhas are Mahapranas. Then Satkarta, Satkritas, Satkritas, Sadhuhu, Visarga followed by Sa will be an extra sibilant. And Sadhu, Janhur Narayano Harihi. Who would like to chant this shloka with me?
I can.
Awesome. So we'll do the first full line and then we'll go to the second. Suprasada Prasannatma Vishwadrug Vishwabhuk Vibhuhu.
Suprasad Prasannatma Visvarud Visvabhu Visvabhugvibhu.
We'll do it one more time.
Okay.
Suprasada Prasannatma Vishwadrug Vishwabhuk Vibhuhu.
Suprasad. So, the second last word. It's
Bhuk Vibhuhu.
Visvashrud Visvabhu
So
Bhugvibhu.
break it down into 3 different ones. Vishwadrig, Vishwabhruk, Vibhuhu. If you do it like, subtle change, like when you are breaking it, it doesn't sound like a break when you're chanting it.
Okay.
You know in your mind there are 3 different words.
Mhm.
Vishwa Drug Vishwa Bhuk Vibhuhu.
Vishwadruk Vishwabruk Vibhuhu.
Yeah. So no, don't use a bru there. Vishwa Drug Vishwa Bhuk Vibhuhu.
Vishwadruk Vishwabruk Vibhuhu.
Yeah. So we'll try the full line. Suprasada Prasannatma Vishwadrug Vishwabhuk Vibhuhu.
Suprasada Prasannatma Viswabruk Viswabruguhu.
Yeah, I'll let you practice it. We'll go to the next
No,
line.
can you, because it's so different in what I'm looking at, can you repeat just so that I'll write it down?
Sure. Vishwadrug Vishwabhuk Vibhuhu.
Viswadruk Viswabruk, right?
Vishwabhuk.
Book. Okay.
Yeah.
Viswabuk Vibhu.
Vibhuhu. So those are the 3 namas. And of course, because of the sandhis, as you chant them all together, you will automatically bring bring them together. Vishwadrug Vishwabhuk Vibhuhu.
Vibhuhu. Okay. Viswadruk Viswabuk Vibhuhu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do the second line. Satkarta Satkrita Sadhu Janhur Narayano Naraha.
Satkarta Satkruta Sadhu Jannu Narayano Naraha.
Awesome. We'll do the full shloka. Suprasada Prasannatma Vishwadrug Vishwabhuk Vibhuhu. Satkarta Satkrita Sadhu Janhur Narayano Naraha.
Suprasada Prasannatma Viswadruk Viswabuk Vibhuhu. Satkarta Satkrutatma Sadhur Janhu Narayano Naraha.
You seem to have a typo there. Satkritaha doesn't have any Atma with it. Satkarta Satkrita Sadhu Janhur Narayano Naraha.
Satkarta Satkruta Sadhu Janhu Narayano Naraha.
Correct. Awesome.
Thank you.
So we'll look at the meanings. Suprasadaha, one who blesses people with his grace. The Lord is the source of prasada, blessing. Even those who did harm to him were given moksha. Example, Shishupala. So we know that Shishupala's story. So even Shishupala got moksha. Then that's the traditional interpretation. Now we'll look at the other esoteric meaning for this. The Lord is one from whom you derive all the blessings. He need not give anything. The very thought of the Lord is a blessing. Hence the Lord is called Suprasada. Because the Lord is with all the glories, the very thought of him makes you completely resolve all the thoughts about yourself. Even your low self-esteem is also within the psychological order of Ishvara. That you had a background which gives you this low self-esteem is within the order of Ishvara. There is nothing wrong with you. So the very thought of Ishvara makes you feel connected to him and relieves you from your own low self-esteem. So something that I always talk about, I don't know, we might have done Satyanarayana Vratam, say 1,000 times since childhood, but those stories are never boring. We would have chanted Vishnu Sahasranamam again few thousands of times. It's never boring. So the very thought of him, we would have gone to like temples so many times. Don't even want to give a number. But it is never boring. The moment you go there, you actually feel the relaxed, the feeling that you get is extremely different from any other place. And that's why I always say that convert your home into a temple. So you can be in that mode most of the times. Of course, not that doesn't mean that you should stop going to temples. But how do we do that? Is through our prayers, what we do on a daily basis. Or no, obviously lighting deepams in the house, and taking a shower before cooking food, and living a dharmic life, and doing some chants that are happening in the morning or in the evening. It doesn't need to happen 24/7. It's our own mind, our own way of thinking, that we are in a temple kind of a setting where Bhagavan's presence is always felt. Like loud noises, shouting and bickering, all of this is not a place for Bhagavan to be. We don't do all of that stuff in the temple. So convert yourself. And they say convert your heart and mind into temples. Convert the place you're living in as temple. Convert your place of employment as your temple. So you are surrounded by Bhagavan, and your body, mind, and spirit are supposed to be in alignment, in sync with him. And that's how that blessings, that his presence itself is a blessing, and everything will fall in place, everything will be aligned and in sync when he is around us. He's always around us. When we continue to feel that presence around us, that's when everything will fall in place. So just by having his presence, just by his thought, that is itself a blessing. So he is the Suprasadaha. Next nama is Prasannatma, the one who is ever satisfied. So why is he ever satisfied? So it says Avapta Sarva Kamatvat, because all his desires are fulfilled, or being ever compassionate, he is Prasannatma. So and as soon as we hear about like Prasannatma, the first shloka that comes to mind is like Shantakaram, right? And just go and look at Bhagavan, and just you will see that smile in him. That itself, the moment you actually focus on that smile, we ourselves will become those Prasannatmas, and that's one part of it. But importantly, he doesn't have anything else to achieve. He is not looking for what is my next task, what are the deadlines, what are the due dates for it. So he is not in that rush mode, and therefore he is able to maintain that prashantata. Everything will be done, and we see, like, it's not just Bhagavan in the temple as a vigraha, but think about how Krishna lived his life, a life of compassion, a life continuously of smile. No matter what was happening around him, the smile on his face would never leave. Right? So that prashantata is required. So he is the Prasannatma. Between Prasannatma and Suprasada, there is a Hetu-Hetumat Sambandha, a relation as a cause and effect. Hetu is the cause, and that which has the cause is the Hetumat. So Prasannata and Prasada, where one condition is prior to the other. Prasannata comes from the Prasada Buddhi. So between them, there is a Hetu-Hetumat Bhava. So that's one of the other meanings, that they are two connected. If I have the prasadam, I can always, if I know that I have Bhagavan's blessings, I can be a prasannatma. Or if I am in that prasannatma mode, then I will get Bhagavan's blessings because I'm able to feel his presence. So there are many more meanings, which I will not go into the details. And there is, of course, the other nama Suprasanna, which is we will get into when we get to that point. So next nama, Vishwadrik, the one who surpasses the universe. And there are a couple other meanings to it, Vishwadruk, so we'll talk about that. Bhagavan is called so because he possesses jnana, aishwarya, shakti, knowledge, lordship, skills and capabilities, and so on. Possessing them in the fullest measure or absolute measure without any lack. Vishwam Drishnoti, he excels and surpasses everyone in the Vishwa, including Brahmaji. That's why he is a Vishwadrik. He is also the Vishwadrik because he is the one who envisioned that there is a Vishwam, and through his sankalpa, the whole universe came into existence. Therefore, he is the Vishwadrik. He's the visionary behind the creation. The next nama is Vishwabhuk, the one who enjoys and protects the Vishwa. So Vishwam Bhunkte that's the Vyutpatti, the one who eats up, that is devours the entire Vishwa at the time of resolution. He is also the enjoyer of this universe, being in the form of every Bhokta. He is the Vishwa Bhuk also because Vishwam Bhunakti. He rules over the entire universe, protects, nourishes, and blesses it. So there are three different meanings given here. One is he destroys the whole universe, or he devours the universe at the time of Pralaya. He's the one who is enjoyer of the universe. He's the Bhokta of the universe, and he is the ruler of the universe. That's why he is Vishwabhuk. The next nama is Vibhu. This nama also appears at 880. The one who manifests in many forms. And it's an observation that only Bhagavan, Lord Narayana, has so many incarnations or avatars. No other Bhagavan takes avatara, or at least no, the Purana doesn't talk about avatars. There are many forms those Bhagavans take, but only Lord Narayana has the compassion to actually come down to earth and live as a human being and walk around with other human beings and live a life of an avatara. And so the one who manifests in many forms can be taken as Bhagavan taking avatars, or the one Bhagavan that existed, Ekameva Dvitiyam. There was nothing else except Bhagavan when before the universe started. That one has become so many. So that is the manifested into many forms. Therefore, he is the Vibhu. So there is another reference to Dakshinamurti Stotram here. It says, Jagadidam Maya Kalpita Desha Kala Kalana Vaichitrya Chitri Kritam. The world is made in a wondrous way with countless permutations and combinations of place, time, and so on. The Lord, as the Sat and Chit, is the basis, the invariable in and through all the varieties of Namarupas. Therefore, he is the Vibhu, manifesting as the many, even as Hiranyagarbha and other Devatas. Vibhu, therefore, also means Purna, all pervasive. In Mundaka Upanishad talks about Nityam Vibhum, is the reference that is given here. With that, we'll move into the next shloka, 27th. Asankhyeyo or Asankhyeyaha is the first nama. Aprameyatma is the second nama. So if you're reading from Sanskritam, you will see a avagraha, S kind of a symbol.
Sorry, Shriji, did we do Satkarta, Satkrita?
So that's what I was going to say too.
No.
Satkarta, Satkruta, Sadhu,
Yeah,
Janu.
yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know why in my notes, it's not the way it is. Okay. So we'll do Satkarta. Correct. The doer of actions. Sat Karta. You know that, or what Sat means. The one who does the truthful actions, the actions that he does are the only truth. So there are so many different ways we can interpret that. He is the doer, the author of Sat Karma. What is Sat Karma for Ishvara? The creation of this empirical Jagat is Sat Karma. So what exists is reality. Therefore, he cannot create reality because he already exists. He is the one reality, and the whole universe came into existence through his Sat Karma. So that's Satkarta. We'll not go into the Pratibhasikam and all that. We have studied in Gita. Then Satkritaha, the one who is worshipped by everyone. As the creator of this Jagat, he is the Satkarta, and as he is the Upadana Karana, the material cause, he is also the Jagat, that is Krita, created, and the created well. So he is the creator as well as the created. Therefore, Ishvara is Satkrita as the Jagat that is created well. So people whom we honor and worship, such as our elders, brahmanas, sadhus, and learned people, even they worship Ishvara. So he is Satkrita, worshipped and honored by all. So there are two different meanings that are being given here. One, so we were talking about Sat Karma, which is the karma is the act of creation. Satkritaha, well, the result of that act of creation is the created universe, and that universe is also Sat, which is the created Jagat, because he himself has manifested as the rest of the universe. Therefore, he is the underlying substratum, the Sat within the universe that exists. The second meaning is he is honored by the Sajjanas. The next nama is Sadhu, the one who makes everything possible. A sadhu is one who tries to help others accomplish what they want. Sarvan Purusharthan Sadhayati. Bhagavan is the one who makes it possible for us to accomplish the various Purusharthas by providing all the means, the infrastructure, and so on that are required, and also by removing the obstacles that stand in the way. So he is the one who tries to move us forward. So we can say, well, he is only giving me the results of my own actions. So how is he now? How are we saying that he is the one who is guiding us through this Purusharthas? So he is the one that is within us, the supreme soul within us, that is guiding us to take the dharmic path. Yes, this scenario that is being presented to me is based on my past actions, but my today's actions are what's going to guide my future. Therefore, the inner voice that we hear on, there are two different paths that I can take, and which of these is the dharma that I should be guiding, and Bhagavan will always guide us from within to take the dharmic path. So whether we listen to it or whether we cut down that inner voice as inner noise, that is up to us based on and that is where our future karmas or our agami karma will be based upon. Okay. Then the next nama is Janhuhu, the one who takes away people at the time of resolution. So as the one who takes away all the jivas at the time of resolution, he is called as Janhuhu. Samhara samaye apahnute. That's the vyutpatti that's given. And we know what that is. So at the Pralaya Kala, he is the one. So everything, so from one single point came the whole universe. And at some point, all of this will have to come back into becoming that one. And during that time, everything that exists, all particles or atoms, molecules, everything just gets unified into becoming that one Bhagavan. Therefore, he is Janhuhu. Narayanaha is a very important nama. So we'll look at that. We've got 4 minutes. Let's see if we can cover it. The ultimate goal of all beings. So there are so many vyutpattis given. It's unbelievable. So I don't know how we will cover it. So we'll cover a few. The jiva, a human being, is called as Nara because na riyate, he never dies. If the jiva knows himself as the limitless unborn Atma, then he is timeless. And if he does not know, then he continues in some form or other until he knows. And so he never perishes. That which is the ayana, the ultimate end of every nara, is Narayana. Lord Narayana is the ultimate end of every jiva because he is you. You are Narayana, the nara is Narayana. So I don't know if that made any sense. So we'll pause there for a minute. So Narayana, Ayana is like the ultimate goal, and for every human being, he is the ultimate goal, the Parandhama, which we also have seen a name. Therefore, for a jiva who has taken birth, he is the ultimate goal. Therefore, he is Lord Narayana. So that's a very more straightforward meaning. And what we are saying is one nariyate. So that is the he never dies. But as a Nara, I know that I'm going to die. This body, mind, and soul, so the body, mind, and sense organ complex that I am living in, that is going to pass away. The moment I realize I am not this body, mind, and sense organ complex, I am the soul, then I am eternal. Whether this body exists or not doesn't even matter to me. I know I am eternal Sanatana. The other one, so therefore I will never die. The Atma in me or the Atman me is never going to die. So I am eternal. So that's one part of it. But if I do not realize that and I associate myself as the body, mind, sense complex, even then I'm not going to die because I'm going to continue to take births until I realize that I'm the Atman. And then there is the Jivan Mukti, the Videha Mukti. So either way, the bodies can continue to exist one after the other, or the Atman will for eternally will continue to exist without the body, mind, sense complex. So therefore, Narayana. And we know that of all the namas for Lord Narayana, the Ashtakshara mantra is Om Namo Narayanaya. Preferably should be taken from a guru as Diksha and to be chanted. And that is the Parandhamam, the ultimate the realization and the goal, or the key to attain mukti. So this nama is the most important nama of all the Vishnu Sahasranama. Nara means the Atma. Those that are born of, that is a product of Nara, such as Akasha, Vayu and so on, are also called Nara. Narani ayate, in the form of their cause, the Lord pervades all of them. Therefore, they are his ayana, abode as it were. Hence, he is called as Narayana, because he lives in all of us. He lives in the Panchabhutas, he lives in everything that exists. Therefore, he is Narayana. Shankaracharya is using quotes from the Shruti, Smriti, Purana and Mahabharata. He gives a long description of all the quotes to show that the subtle elements are referred to as Nara, and the Lord is their Ayana. The subtle elements are the Panchatanmatras. They are also Lord Narayana. All the Naras, Jivas merge into the Lord during Pralaya. He is the Naranam Ayanam. He is the ultimate abode of all the Jivas. The name Narayana is considered very sacred and comes in the Ashtakshara mantra. With that, we'll conclude for the day. We are a minute over. Sorry about that. And we'll come back to Naraha next week.
Deviji, 1 minute. Can you just briefly chant whatever we did today? Thank you, as a summit. Takes
Chant
1 minute.
Shloka?
Yeah, just chant. Yeah, you chant. Yeah.
Okay. Avartano nivrittatma samvritah sampramaddanah ahas samvattako vanhiranilo dharanidharah suprasadah prasannatma vishvadrug vishvabhug vibhuh satkarta satkritas sadhu janhur narayano narah.
So much.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Sarvam Srimannarayana Charanara Vindarpanamastu. Thank you so much for your time. We'll catch up.
Dhanyavadaha.
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 Thank you.
धन्यवादः भगिनी
Dhanyavadaha.
धन्यवादः
धन्यवादः गुरुजी.
Thank you, Guruji.